Hello, Oilers fans. Austin here with today's pregame report between the Edmonton Oilers and the Carolina Hurricanes. For the Edmonton Oilers, they have lost 5 straight games in regulation. This is the first time they've lost 5 straight since the 21-22 NHL season. And the Carolina Hurricanes, they're not doing a whole lot better at the moment. They have only won 4 of their last 10. The Oilers, 3 of their last 10. So these are two teams that are also built pretty similarly, not in terms of how they play the game. Carolina is definitely a much faster team, and they're a lot better in the neutral zone. What the similarities between these two teams are is they both generally tend to dominate the shot metrics, expected goals, puck possession, but they usually can't get a save when they need it, and they don't put the puck in the net as much as the underlying numbers may suggest. So you have two teams that, for the most part, have had great underlines all season, but struggle in the goaltending department and also struggle at scoring those timely goals. However, one team is on a steep decline, it looks like, and the other looks like they're starting to get themselves back out of it. So it's going to be an interesting game. In today's pregame report, we're going to go over the lineups, we're going to go over the stats, and then we will do the keys to the game, players to watch, and score predictions. So as always during these pregame reports, make sure to let me know who your players to watch are. Let me know what your score prediction is. And also, like and subscribe if you have not yet already. It goes a long way in supporting the channel. I appreciate all of your support as always. It means the absolute world to me. Now let's discuss the lineups for tonight's game here. For your Oilers, Nugent Hopkins with McDavid and Hyman looks like it's going to be the top line here, and hopefully they stick together. Big thing for Chris Knoblauch here is find some consistency with the lineup card that you submit. I find he just changes the lines way too much, and no one has been able to really get a groove or find real chemistry with each other since coming back from the Four Nations. And it doesn't help that everyone has gone cold at the exact same time. I've never seen a team where literally every single player, other than Leon Draisaitl, is just completely cold. Nobody can put the puck in the net. Nobody can seem to make just a simple tape-to-tape pass. And very concerning times in oil country. I'm very concerned about this game specifically because of the speed that Carolina plays with and how slow the Oilers look. The Oilers against the Florida Panthers, Nick from Locked On Oilers, he messaged me and he's like, is it just me or do the Oilers look like they're playing in slow motion? And I was like, you're not wrong. Like, that is the speed difference between a team like Edmonton and a team like Carolina or even Florida, where I don't even think the Florida Panthers are like the fastest team in the NHL, but the Oilers lack speed. They lack tenacity. They lack energy. And Carolina, if they're playing their game, they're going to jump all over Edmonton, and it's not even going to be close tonight. But there's a lot more to discuss, so let's talk about the second line for the Oilers here. Jeff Skinner with Leon Draisaitl and Victor Arvidsson. I think it goes without saying here in oil country, we have all been very disappointed in how Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson's play has been here. I mean, Jeff Skinner, I think, has definitely deserved top 6 ice time over the past several weeks, but he doesn't get it, and it's very disappointing because I think that player specifically has put in a lot of work and has done a really good job at getting himself reinserted into the lineup when he can. But Chris Knoblauch, it seems like whenever Jeff Skinner scores a goal, he will healthy scratch him the next game. And I don't know what the logic is here. I don't know why. But Jeff Skinner, he had a bit of a quiet game against Florida. And for a player like him, where, goal scorers have to play with confidence. If they're not playing confident with the puck, then they're not going to get shots off. They're not going to score goals. It's pretty obvious that Jeff Skinner's confidence has taken a huge hit this season, and a lot of that has to do with how Chris Knoblauch has utilized him. So hopefully him and Draisaitl tonight can find a little bit of chemistry and they can connect on a goal or two. That would be great. And for Victor Arvidsson, I'm at the point with him where I don't care if the team trades him at the trade deadline at this point. He has not been the player that we thought he would be. I understand coming back from a major surgery and injury that he had last season is a lot to ask of a player. We saw that with Connor Brown last year. And who knows, maybe if they keep him for a playoff run, he will be great and he'll be a hero like Connor Brown was. But I just don't see that in Victor Arvidsson's game. He takes untimely penalties and he just doesn't do anything with the puck when he gets it. And he falls a lot. I think he falls more than Taylor Hall did when he was in Edmonton. So great times here if you're an Oil fan cheering for players like Victor Arvidsson. Of course, I'm not saying I don't want him to succeed. I obviously want that player to succeed, but it's been disappointing nonetheless. Now, here's the line that I absolutely despise, and we are getting to the point where I am going to get just as mad at this combination as I was at Nurse and Ceci during the playoffs last year. Janmark, Henrique, and Brown. This line does not work. It has not worked. Last year in the playoffs, it did work, but they were on a PDO heater. It was unsustainable. Those three together were on an unsustainable PDO heater during the postseason. We knew that that line together did not work with the underlying metrics, and to ask them to sustain what they did in the playoffs for 82 games is outrageous. And for some reason, even after they go a combined -8 against the Florida Panthers, Chris Knobloch's like, you know what? Let's put those three back together. Let's keep playing those three. They're doing great. This is quality minutes right here. When Adam Henrique was on the ice the other night against the Florida Panthers, when he was on the ice, Florida outshot or out-attempted the Oilers 23-3. Adam Henrique was on the ice for 3 shot attempts for, 23 shot attempts against. It's just putrid. These three need to be split up, and Janmark shouldn't even be in the lineup. Adam Henrique is at the end of his career, it looks like. I don't know how his game has fallen off as much as it has, but this is so bad. It's so bad. And if this is the line that they do run with throughout most of the night, Carolina is laughing. Carolina, Rod Brindamore right now, if he sees this lineup card submitted, he is in his office just laughing his head off because he is going to put whatever line he wants out against them and just feast. They're going to get scored against 3 or 4 times. I'm calling it right now unless they break them up. Fourth line, you'll have Podkolzin with Kapanen and Perry. For some reason, they're asking Kasperi Kapanen to play center. I don't know if he's ever really played center in his career. He played a little bit of center against Florida, and it didn't work very well. I don't like the makeup of this line either. The bottom 6 in general needs a massive, massive shakeup. And the fact that Matthew Savoy is likely the healthy scratch again, at least according to, as of the recording of this video, Matthew Savoy was not projected to be in the lineup. And it's such a shame because I don't think Savoy is the guy that should be coming out. I think Savoy was one of the only players other than Draisaitl that could consistently keep the puck going towards the offensive zone without, losing that defensive zone coverage. I liked Savoy's play. I'd like to see him in the lineup more, but name a better combination than the Edmonton Oilers and fumbling their prospects. I don't think there is a better combination you can name. On defense, you'll have Ekholm with Bouchard, and it goes without saying, once again here, Matthias Ekholm has been struggling a lot lately. I think Bouchard has been taking a lot of the blame. Bouchard's one of those players where no matter what he's doing on the ice, there is going to be a portion of the fans that dislike whatever is happening. But Matthias Ekholm's drop-off in his game, too, I think a lot of us understood that, the flu bug was going around. He sounded very ill before the Four Nations and then during the Four Nations as well. He didn't look very good either. He's come back, and I think he has actually been quite a drag on that defense pair. And you're asking your best, I would argue, your best defensive defenseman to keep playing 23, 24 minutes when he's not being effective. So if the Oilers are going to have any type of success moving forward, if they're going to get themselves out of this losing streak, Ekholm and Bouchard have to pick up their game together. It has to be by committee. They both have to elevate each other. Ekholm covers a lot of Bouchard's flaws. It's time for Bouchard to maybe cover for Ekholm a little bit. Bouchard, let's elevate Ekholm's game, all right? You have the potential to do it, and Ekholm is someone that has put in so many hard minutes to help you out. Let's see if Bouchard can help Ekholm out a little bit. Second pair, Kulak with Klingberg. Assuming that Darnell Nurse is out of the lineup, he did not practice or skate. He's still banged up from whatever happened in that Tampa Bay game. So Kulak with Klingberg. Kulak did score the other night, his 7th of the season against Florida. Love to see that. John Klingberg, I don't like this player personally, at least his on-ice impacts. He just doesn't look comfortable. And the Oilers should be looking at getting a massive upgrade at the trade deadline, because if this is the defense group that you run with, and then assuming Darnell Nurse is also part of this, does that look like a Stanley Cup caliber defensive group, right? Ekholm, Bouchard, that's good. Kulak, Klingberg, absolutely not. Stetcher, Emberson, that's your third pair that you're going to try and go on a cup run with. I don't know about that. Don't know about that, folks. In goal, Calvin Pickard and Stuart Skinner. I actually, as of the recording of this video, I do not know which goaltender is getting the start here. It could be Pickard. It could be Skinner. Obviously, keep an eye out on Twitter or X.com. Tony Brar, Bob Stauffer, they usually have the official lineups a few hours before the game. So keep an eye out for that. All right, let's finally move into the game day stats. The Carolina Hurricanes on the season, they are 34, 21, and 4. They are 4, 5, and 1 in their last 10 games. And take a look at their advanced numbers and their normal numbers. They are first in the NHL in expected goals for, second on the penalty kill. They are 8th in goals for per game, 7th in goals against per game, first in Corsi for, first in shots for percentage. This is a team that is an absolute wagon. And the Carolina Hurricanes, if they had a little bit more finish in their game, and if they had a little bit better goaltending, that is a team that should probably be in the President's Trophy conversation. Like the Carolina Hurricanes, but they do this every year, right? If you're a Hurricanes fan, you understand what I'm saying. This is a team that is elite every single year when it comes to all of the advanced metrics. But it just doesn't all come together for a deep playoff run. And for a Carolina Hurricanes team that is looking to try and go on a deep run here, I'll be very curious to see what they do at the deadline, because they picked up Mikko Rantanen. Bit of a slow start at first, but it looks like his game is starting to turn around here. And for the Edmonton Oilers, trying to defend Rantanen on a Carolina team where they could barely defend him on a Colorado team, I don't know. I don't like Edmonton's chances here. The Carolina Hurricanes are terrific. Looking over on the Oilers side, they're no slouch either, especially when it comes to the underlying metrics. The Oilers are 4th in expected goals for, 7th on the power play, so their power play is improving. 7th in goals for per game, 13th in goals against per game, 4th in Corsi for, and 2nd in shots for percentage. Again, the Edmonton Oilers in a bubble here. Their last 10 games, all of their metrics have been very bad. Their expected goals for in their last 10 games is at like 44% or something. It's been really, really bad. This is a bad stretch of hockey for Edmonton, but they still have lots of time to turn this around. They know what type of team they are. We know what type of team they are. And if Chris Knoblauch can start getting everyone going again at the same time, because apparently everyone just forgot how to play hockey at the exact same time for the Oilers, I don't mind Edmonton's chances here. But in saying that, the way the Oilers have been playing, the lack of confidence, the lack of speed, it's hard to ask for a win here. It's hard to expect a win for the Edmonton Oilers, especially going up against Goliath over on the other side. Rod Brind'Amour, probably one of, if not the best coaches in the NHL. He has that team rolling. He rolls all 4 lines, and they are fast. They're suffocating. And for the Oilers, it's going to be difficult to deal with. So let's get to the keys of the game, players to watch, and then, of course, the score prediction. Keys to the game for Edmonton. They need that first goal, and then they need to hold on to it, for goodness sakes. Get the first goal and then find a way to hold on to the lead. They also need to play with consistent lines, other than the third line. Please split Janmark, Henrique, and Brown up before I lose my mind. Other than that, keep your lines consistent. Let guys work with it, work through it, find chemistry, because it seems like every single game since the Four Nations ended, after about 10 minutes in the first period, everyone's being switched around. Everybody's being switched around. All the line combinations are crazy. And I don't mind Draisaitl and McDavid together periodically. If you want them to have a shift or two per period just to try and kickstart some offense, that's fine with me. But don't do it at the expense of the rest of your forward group, right? You can't look at certain players and be like, we don't trust you. We'd rather have these guys instead. Put trust and faith in your players. Put the trust and faith in your team that they can break through and that they can get the job done. And then lastly, work the cycle. For the Oilers to find success, they need to work the cycle, and they need to start getting pucks to the middle of the ice in those high danger chances areas, or high danger shot areas, I should say, and start capitalizing on some looks. The Oilers right now, they are not fast enough to attack off the rush, and they haven't been able to establish any type of real cycle game at all, because other teams are able to get their sticks in the lane. They're able to use their speed and their size to push Edmonton away from the puck and then gain possession and go up. So for the Oilers, if they want to have success, they have to start working their cycle game. They are a good team off the cycle, and they need to start finding a way to do that again. For the Carolina Hurricanes, their keys to the game tonight against the Oilers: speed. Speed is key. Carolina is much faster, much younger than Edmonton. If they are playing with speed, Edmonton will not be able to match it. So for the Oilers, they've got to be disciplined in the neutral zone here. And speaking of the neutral zone, Carolina, that's another key to their game. They are so good in the neutral zone. They are so good at the transition game, forcing turnovers, forcing you to make mistakes. And that's the third key to the game here: force mistakes. The Oilers' biggest enemy is not who they're playing against right now. It's themselves. The Edmonton Oilers' biggest enemy is literally just themselves right now. They are not playing confidently with the puck, and if Carolina can capitalize on that, this game is not even going to be close. This is going to be an absolute blowout for the Hurricanes if they are playing their game. My players to watch, of course, for Edmonton, the only player that's worth watching these days is Leon Draisaitl. He's on a 7-game goal-scoring streak. In that time, he has 8 goals. He's at 44 on the season. He has an 11-goal lead in the Rocket Richard race, and he continues to be just an absolute tour de force for the Oilers. And my player to watch for Carolina, of course, is going to be Mikko Rantanen, who, like I said, bit of a slow start to his time in Carolina, but he's really turned his game around here, and it looks like Carolina in general, if their last game is anything to go off of, that win against Buffalo, where they were wearing the Hartford Whalers sweaters, which, by the way, best sweaters of all time. Maybe, or if not, top 5 for sure. But for Carolina, Mikko Rantanen, player to watch. And my score prediction. Oh boy, Oil Country, you're going to hate me on this one. You're going to smash that dislike button and tell me I'm a piece of crap. I have no faith in my team. But at the moment, until they can prove otherwise, I don't have faith in my team. I'm going to go 5-1 Hurricanes here. I would love to be proven wrong. I want the Oilers to go out there, prove me wrong. Go out there against a cup contender and absolutely dominate them. If the Oilers were to win like 6-2 or 6-3 or something, I will be having so much fun. But when it comes to the realistic side of my analysis here, I can't see Edmonton finding a win. I see them going 0-5 on this road trip and extending that losing streak to 6 straight games. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Of course, that's just my opinion. What are your thoughts on the game tonight? Please let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. And like I said, if you ended up enjoying this pregame report, smash the like button. And if you really liked it, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We have lots more Oilers and trade content coming up. I'm going to have a full trade target video soon. And then, of course, trade deadline once we get closer to the deadline day. Lots of content regarding that as well. Of course, if there's breaking news in between, look out for videos here. I will make sure to try and break it as quickly as possible for you. Thank you for your support. As always, it means the absolute world to me. Tell someone that you love them before the game tonight. And as always, fight like a kid, fight like Ben. Let's go Oilers.